Today, we've got back on the show someone who's one of the world's smartest experts on using social media to extend your brand's reach. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. My name is Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And from the opposite side of the world, almost opposite side of the world, we've got Wilfried here from, are you in Amsterdam right now, or where are you at?
Yeah, close to Amsterdam. Absolutely.
Excellent. So being in Amsterdam, how has it been being an Ajax fan the last year or so? You have comings and goings.
We were champions, so that was good. But we went to the season opening and they lost the game with 5-3. So that was a little disappointing.
Do you go to the games there in person, or you just watch on TV?
No, this one we went with my boys, but unfortunately they lost. So that was a bit of a bummer.
All right. Well, one day, it'd be nice, when Helium 10 gets so big, you'll all of a sudden see the Helium 10 logo on some famous soccer teams. Who knows? Maybe it will be Ajax, or who knows, Manchester United. We'll see where which jersey you'll see the Helium 10 logo on. But anyways, we're not here to talk soccer or football, as we call it over there. I want to talk about e-commerce and what's been going on. You've been on this podcast a few times before, and your specialty lies in a space that's not one of my specialties, and that's like in social media and driving organic traffic and getting out there and finding influencers, all kinds of different things that I think a lot of Amazon and Walmart sellers are interested in, but a lot of them are kind of timid to get started. They don't know where to begin. So I think in the past we've talked about some interesting things like building your own Facebook page and then how you can drive a lot of traffic without even having to pay for it. But it's been a year or two since you've been on the podcast. I'm just curious, what's like the number one thing that you've been working on, that you've been seeing working for e-commerce sellers out there? Is it still Facebook, or have you gone in different directions? What's going on in your life?
Well, the fun thing about social media is never a boring day. Yeah, every day is different. And just as a cliffhanger, I will not give away my tip of the day today, today. I will give it away today, but not right now. I think in 50 minutes or so to have people holding. But it's a tip like you're doing SEO in 2005. So if you could turn back the clock, and if you do SEO in 2005, you just smack a page on the website and it ranked number one. You get all the Google juice, So we have something cool, something new. But I will give it away, let's say, in 15 or 20 minutes. And other than that, currently TikTok is dominating the space. But it's not only TikTok. And normally when I'm on stages, and because of COVID, it's a lot of virtual summits right now. But when I'm on stages, I always say, bring you good and bad news. And that's what I'm going to do today as well. The good news is anyone can do it. The bad news is a lot of work. There is unfortunately no magic button. You need to be out there 24/7 almost. And you need to invest also in new ways of marketing, like Twitter Spaces, YouTube Shorts. Facebook is heavily investing in Reels. So do Facebook Reels. Do Instagram Shops, where you can put your whole shop almost in Instagram. And of course, this is all Amazon related, but I always say diversify also a little bit. So try to have your own Shopify store as well. If you only do 10% of your sale on a Shopify store, it's even cool. Yeah, of course, Amazon is still the big space, and Walmart, but diversify as much as possible. And consumers still crave for snackable content, and what that means is it needs to be fast, it needs to be entertaining, it needs to be funny, and of course related to your industry. If you're not in the pet niche, don't post a cat. If you are in the bicycles or something like that. And what we're also see is that the maturity of influencer marketing. We also see a lot of clients that say you need to go to that influencer because he has 1 million in reach. And I always say don't choose influencers based on their follower count. Look at their engagement. It's always about engagement. I probably told this story also 1.5 years ago, but it's still a good story. And it tells basically what I mean. We have a Chinese seller as a client, and he's doing 10 million a year on Amazon. And he told me, I don't care about engagement. Well, I said, you need to be engaged before you get married. And that's the whole thing about engagement. If people don't know you, then they don't trust you, they will not buy from you. But if they interact with your brand all the time because you post awesome content, yeah, then there will be your loyal ambassador. And that's also why our specialty lies. And that's also what we tell our audience or people that want to learn about social media. Invest in building social media communities. You want to have a community around your brand, and I rather have 100 people engaging like crazy than 10,000 likes, because likes don't. Facebook doesn't care about likes. TikTok doesn't care about. Well, they care a little bit more about likes, but or followers is less important. It's all about interaction, and yeah, that's what we say. So yeah, do a lot that is entertaining, funny, and relatable. The good news is that, let's say you created a blog post on, let's say, your store. You can have a WordPress site to interact people to your Amazon store or Walmart. If you created that blog, we always use a tool called QPrompter. It's a free tool. You can just smack your blog into that tool, put a video camera on your face like we're doing now, and it will be prompted, scripted in your screen. So you can just read it out loud, of course, a little bit with entertainment in it. But then you have a video. Cut that video into a TikTok format, and then you have a TikTok video. So you can reuse your content on different places and yeah, with different platforms. And that's very important. You can, let's say you have a 500 word article, cut it into pieces, and you have 10 Twitter messages. And so yeah, there is so much that you can do to make it easier for yourself. And I always say, make yourself mad at Sunday morning between 8 and 10 and post content for the rest of the week. So it's not that you go to your office and think, oh, I need to post something online, because that's what's happening a lot, is that people post at 8 a.m. But you need to know, what is your audience? When are they online? What platform do they consume? Let's say you have a young audience, you need to be on TikTok. Where are they online? Somewhere between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. And so to reach younger audience, create short form videos that are funny, trending, and reflect your brand values. But if you have an older audience, then leverage an interactive, create educational content on Facebook, for example, because most elderly are on Facebook. That's why the youngsters skip, because if grandpa is on Facebook, they don't want to be on Facebook anymore. So that's why every business is different. And yeah, you need to do a lot of research. That's the first thing we do when we onboard a new client. Research, research, research. What's trending? What's entertaining? What's interactive? What is your competitors doing? Fun thing about online marketing, there is no such thing as privacy anymore. There are so many tools out there, you can exactly dissect what your competition is doing. Look what is working for them. Don't copy, of course, but make it better. When you want to be number one on Google, for example, if there is the top 20 tips about something you sell, create the top 40 tips about something you sell. What also works very well is don't do this. And if you have a title, don't do this. Let's say you're again in a recycling business, don't do this with your bicycle. And you need to have pattern interrupters. So if I scroll through my feed and I see something like don't do this with my bicycle, and I have a bicycle for $2,000, then I want to stop and I want to know what's going on. Why is my bicycle in jeopardy? Then you take them over to your Google or to your website with some Google juice. And we always preach about the snowball model. That means you need to be basically everywhere, but it's a lot of work to push the snowball up the mountain. But when you release it, when you get love from Facebook and TikTok and Twitter, Google will pick up and give you more love and juice. Amazon will pick up and will rank you higher as well. That's one thing we talked about it in the pre-meeting when we're not live. This Sunday, I will see our good friend Howard Thai here in Amsterdam. He showed me a case study that he ranked a product number one on Amazon without one review and without one sale. How did he do it? He ranked it number one on Google. And that means that those big companies, they look at each other because they don't want to miss out on the next big trend. And yeah, that shows you that if you put in the effort and the time, and again, there are only 24 hours in a day, it's definitely worth your time or worth your while. And yeah, if you don't have the time, find some experts like we are.
Yeah. Well,
So
one thing, you're talking about Google and SEO, but one thing that was interesting to me that I saw on your website that I had, I don't think we've ever talked about it, and I don't even know what it really means. So I wanted to ask you about it was it said on your website something about services for geo-targeted SEO. So what does that mean? Like, how can somebody do that?
well, for example, if you have a big summit going on in Las Vegas, so if
Mhm.
you want to, let's say that is my target audience. It's more B2B, of course, because there will be Amazon sellers. But let's say I go after Amazon sellers. I can say to Google, I fence this hotel where you are in, and I only want to show my ads for people that are in my fence, my geo-targeting. So that means that people that are in the hotel, that audience, open their phone, they see my message. So you can zero in almost like another. Yeah, you can do it by street almost, but yeah, that's a great way to do geo-targeting. If you're not totally online, but you also have some physical stores, you can say, "This is my audience. I want to fence them, and I only want to show my ad to this particular audience." And that's why we always say, start big, but then zoom in. And social media ads is always about test, and testing. Don't just put on one ad and think you're done. You need to have 35 different ads with different creatives, different target audiences, different text in them, ads with or without the URL. And because without a URL, you have a video in, for example, that's one tip we also do. You can later retarget that audience that watch your video 5 or 10 seconds long. So they're interested in your product because they stick to the video. And always post without a URL, get a lot of more traction. So the chance to go viral without the URL in it is it's much bigger than within in it. So yeah, those are all the different tips. And yeah, I think this will be around the 45 minutes, but I had the chance the other day with our other good friend Norm Farrar to speak for 7 hours, and even then we're not done.
7 hours. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah, but there are so many little things, and they change all the time as well. And that's why I'm here again to talk about the new things. And I think we're in it now for around 10 minutes. So shall I give away RC 12 minutes and 45 seconds? Let's do
There
a
we go.
drum. Let's do a drum roll and go back to 2005 in our Back to the Future
All right.
DeLorean. Tip of the day: voice search. Almost,
Voice search.
I think there are almost 1 billion devices will be sold in the end of this year. And if people are lazy and they say, Alexa, what is the best noise cancellation headphone? And they say, and what the device then is doing, Alexa just watching the Amazon Choice badge. Only products that are available to Prime members are available to Alexa. And let's say the Sennheiser is in the Amazon Choice badge, and they say, well, you need to buy the Sennheiser because that's the best. And then I just say, well, put it in my cart and send it over. They have the credit card information already, because you need to be an Amazon a client already. But then you're done. So if you want to profit from the voice search, and I think it will be around $160 billion, a give or take in this year, a revenue in voice searches, and hardly anyone is doing it. So you need to encourage customer reviews because you want to be in the buy box. That's the holy grail of Amazon. And you need to optimize your product detail pages, exhaust keywords, utilize structured data. Description and bullet points are very important, because if Alexa says, well, you need to have the Sennheiser, and I say, why? She just reads out the bullet points. She said, well, it's a 1-year warranty. You can put it on the water or whatever. And then you need to optimize the title, because it's artificial intelligence almost, and it needs to be readable. So if you have a very long, not sexy title, yeah, Alexa cannot do anything without it. We have the problem in Holland. When I ask a number on Spotify, I have my Dutch G, and she doesn't understand it. So if you have it in the title as well, you will not aim for it. So voice search, hardly anyone is talking about it, but it's the number one tip for today, because I think it will surpass 50% of all the sales in the near future. As I said, people are lazy and they say, well, my PC monitor is broken. Alexa, what's the best PC monitor at the moment? Or give me the cheapest one or whatever. Then they say, okay, I will buy it for you, and tomorrow it will be delivered, or maybe the same day. So,
So then, what are steps that you can take to make sure that you are optimized, other than those things you mentioned, like making sure your titles optimize, your bullet points, but then like how? I mean, you can have the most optimized title, the best bullet points in the world, but if you're on page 7 of Amazon, I'm pretty sure that maybe Alexa's not going to pick you up. So like, how do you get on Alexa's radar, I guess, to make sure that you're one of those ones that she's going to recommend to buyers?
yeah, well, that's what you need to do always, your product optimization. And that's why we're here in the Helium 10 podcast, because Helium 10 is, of course, the ultimate tool to do that. It's almost like you paid me to say it, but that's the way to do it. Start optimizing your product listings for voice-related search queries. And yeah, the earlier you start, the easier it is. So exhaust your keywords, structure data, description is very important, and your bullet points, because it's easy for Alexa to say it's the best in the industry, 5 different features, 1-year warranty, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things are the most important. And
Okay.
to talk about a title, and you can just go to Amazon as well. They have an example. You need to have your brand name in front, because I want to have a Sennheiser, so I will not put the brand name all the way at the end. Then you need to have the name of the specific product. It can be SS52, RX, or whatever. It can be a region, and can be a year, and have everything in your title. So I talk about noise cancellation, for example. I want to have that specific headphone. So make sure that's in your title tag as well. And what I normally see on Amazon is titles with 60,000 keywords in them. And yeah, those products will definitely not rank for the voice search, I guess, because it's a little bit too long. But again, you need to test and tweak and adjust. That's I need to find your way there. But yeah, it's so important. And talking about numbers, the number of digital voice assistants, currently it's around 5 billion. I totally got it wrong, but I have now my slides in front of my screen. 2024, it will be 8 billion devices, because people have multiple Google devices, Alexa devices. And in 2025, it will be $164 billion. And in 2020, it was $22 billion in sales, transaction value. So you see, it will be 8 times bigger than it is right now. And yeah, it's almost incredible that our new generation will not go online to buy something. They just shout out, and it will be done, and will be brought to you by a drone or whatever on the door. So
yeah, that's coming as well. I definitely know that. I saw that in the news the other day. All right, so this is good so far. The things we've been talking about. Now earlier, you were talking about all kinds of different social media. Be it YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. But what somebody could easily just get drowned in just and all of a sudden becoming a social media company. But they're an Amazon seller, but it's like, hey, I need to do YouTube 5 times a week, and I need to do Instagram Reels, and I need to do Facebook Reels, and I need to tweet, and I need to do TikTok. Like, how do I, just hypothetically speaking, me as, Joe Amazon how do I prioritize and dedicate enough time? Because, it's not the thing where, okay, I'm going to do it all, but I'll do one YouTube reel a month and let me do one Instagram a week. It's like, once you commit to something, the only way you're going to get traction is like, to really stick to it. So like, how do I pick the things and not make sure I'm taking away time from other important aspects of my business?
Yeah, I'm a social media nerd or guru, or whatever you want to talk about me. So I always say you need to be there every day. And it's hard to hear when you only have 24 hours in a day, as I said, but it's so important. I know for a fact that it penalizes maybe a big word, but if you build an audience on Instagram and you skip one day, you can always almost start all over again. Before you know it, your page is old news. And that's the algorithms. They really reward you for being out there. There are so many things you can do. It's the same with your website. If you make yourself mad, as I said, on Sunday morning, there are so many things you can do. You can do a podcast, you can do a video, there is a press release, you can talk about your products, you can create an ebook, infographics, surveys, polls, question. You can do quotes, you can do contests, you can do facts, tips and tricks, white papers, lists, announcement, testimonials, interviews. You can put on memes. So if I go back to the list, I think I mentioned around 20 different things. So you're done for the next 20 days. And of course, it's easier if I shout it out now than to create all those things. But do at least one quote a day. That's something that's very easy. Just Google, let's say you're in the outdoor sport niche, go online on Google and type in outdoor sport quotes, and you have something amazing. Go to a free tool like Canva, put some nice images in there, put your logo in there, and make it a little bit appealing. And if you have one template, just put in another image, another quote, and you're done. And of course, the trick is to be as fast as lightning. And that's why I say if you don't have the time or the urge to do it, find experts for you. You can find them also on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever. There are amazing people from Bangladesh that do it for $5 per quote or something like that, and it will look amazing. But
well, let me play devil's advocate for 1 second here, and actually this is why I like having you on here, because actually I think everybody generally speaking in the world or in the Amazon world understands, hey, it's important to drive outside traffic to Amazon. It's important to bring that traffic and show Amazon that I'm relevant, and now especially Amazon has brand referral bonus, and I get to if somebody buys my product from a link or Amazon attribution link, I'm going to get my 10% back. And that's why we have Amazon attribution linking available now in Helium 10, et cetera, et cetera. But you're one of the few who really, you're not completely, like you haven't even really mentioned it, much at all here, but you're more on like the organic side. You're talking about, hey, do quotes and post memes and things like that. So let's just play devil's advocate. Here I am as an Amazon seller, and everybody else is always just only talking about, just driving traffic directly to your listing and things like that. But here's Wilfried here, and we know the Dutch are kind of strange sometimes, but anyways, here he is coming here and talking about, posting quotes and building your organic reach and posting memes and posting articles about what not to do, which not necessarily has to directly do with my product. But can you talk a little bit about me, who might be skeptical? Is like, what is the value in that? Why aren't I just focusing all my efforts and just promoting my exact product? I'm sure you have examples too of how this benefits people, but talk about that for a couple minutes if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's what I always say, and if you want to if you want to build a real community around your brand, you need to attract people with quality content. As I said, if they don't know you, they don't buy from you. And unfortunately, I cannot show slides, but I have one amazing one that someone jumps on the table with a megaphone and screams someone in their face, like, you need to buy my product. And she's reluctant and hesitant and pulling backwards. And that's normally what I see online a lot with especially Amazon sellers. They're only interested in the sale. So discount, discount, discount. But if I don't know about your benefits of your program or your product, I will not buy. People don't want what you make. They want what it will do for them. And putting that into memes or into blog posts or into videos, that will certainly raise their eyebrows. And before you know it, and that's why I say you need to build a community around your brand. Because if you're always the one that solves the problem, then that's the way to go. I'm not sure if you probably know it, but YouTube, for example, is the second biggest search engine in the world. So if you're out there solving people's problem, I'm on YouTube almost every day with a computer problem or whatever, and I need to find something. So I type it in, and there's the solution. I always like that person that created the video. If I give him a like, I might even subscribe to that channel. And if I now go back to YouTube again, and the other day, I see his new video because the algorithm knows that I was a fan of his work, and I want to probably see the next video as well. And before you know it, you will be favored in a different area than just selling. You're the number one authority to go to if you have a problem, or if you want to be entertained, or you want to be seen as the go-to guy, basically. Then people are interested in you, and it will resonate in their brain as well. One great tool we use also for getting free brand awareness, because that's basically what we're selling here, brand awareness, is you run YouTube ads. Because if people click the skip ad button, you do not have to pay anything. And it takes around 3 seconds for the finger to go to the screen and click on it. Not for a toddler that's watching something on YouTube, and if the telephone rings, it will take them half a second. But that's how toddlers work nowadays. They're so fast. But people like me, it will take me around 3 seconds to click the skip ad button. And if you put your call to action and your product and your logo in the first 3 seconds, then it will resonate in their brain. And that's what you want to do with those snacks as well. Because if I see a meme and it has your logo in it, I will remember your logo. If I now go to Amazon and need to buy a product and there are 5 different people selling the same product, I think, hey, that meme, I saw that logo the other day. So I will now click on that one. And that's basically how the sales work. You need to be seen as the authority and the guy that knows what to do or what not to do. And unfortunately, our attention span nowadays is lower than a goldfish. It's around 8 seconds. A goldfish is bored in 9 seconds. But if you can bridge that gap between being informative and instructive, then people will stick around. That's how it works.
Over the last, few minutes here of this podcast, instead of just doing one, we already did one tip, but instead of one TST, one 30-second tip, let's just do some quick hitting things. Just, you have such a wide variety of specialties, be it YouTube, be it even LinkedIn and Twitter and different things. But maybe if you can give, maybe 2 or 3 different 1 minute, 30-second to 1 minute tips here on some best strategies that people can be implementing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, leverage video whenever possible, as what I said before, and cut them into different platform pieces. Instagram is square. TikTok is phone, as I said. It's vertical. YouTube is horizontal. So create a video and then cut it into different platform pieces. And you have 3 different videos you can post. Embrace the funny, interactive, and relatable content, as I say. Highlight your customer stories. Use a conversational tone. It's like you're talking to a friend. Use a lot of design elements for snackable content. For example, if people can check it out, it's called breakout clips. They have clips that actually jump over the text. So if you want to have pattern interrupt, that's a great way to do it. I talked about quality over quantity. That's important. What's also important is you need to champion your company values. Why are you here? You're not here because you want to be rich. No, you're here to solve the other person's problem. You have the best tool in the industry. Talk about it. Why do you have the best tool in the industry? What's your mission? What is your vision? You can create videos or podcasts or stories about that as well. And those are still the most important things. And if I need to boil it down to one word, that's basically value. Provide value. That's also my motto in life. Provide value first and the money will follow. That's also with social media. If you provide value, people will crave for your content. And I always say content is fire, but social media is the gasoline. You have an amazing article on your website, but nobody will ever read it if you not post it online. And the fact that, as I said in the beginning, all those big companies look at each other. If Facebook drives you a lot of traffic to your Google, or to your website, Google will pick up and they will rank you higher. And it's the same with Amazon, because they see a lot of interaction happening from your website to Amazon, and the attribution is either Facebook or Google, and they will rank you higher as well. So it's a whole game of being out there, and it's also about the timing. It's also about using hashtags. For example, don't use hashtags on Facebook. Use around 7 to 11 hashtags on Instagram. There are all kinds of different things. Posting times can be different. If you are in the B2B, leverage LinkedIn. That's the most important platform for B2B sellers. All those different things you can find online. If you just Google, then you find where to go and what the best practice is to do it.
What would you say? I think eventually people should definitely diversify, all the different platforms. But if I'm hey, I'm doing about $500,000 on Amazon per year. I have a pretty decent budget for advertising and not just advertising money, but just time as far as, hey, I've got somebody who can work on social media for me. What is the one platform you think I should start on before? I don't think we would suggest, hey, try all 10 platforms at once, but what is the one platform I should start on?
Well, that's a very good question. And that's basically what I said in the beginning. It depends on your audience. If you
Mhm.
are a fashion brand, you need to be on TikTok or on Instagram. If you sell elderly stuff, I cannot find an example right now. You need to definitely be on Facebook because that's still the biggest thing out there. So find where your audience is and then make craving content. Because, for example, if you are 25 between 34, then people are on 8 different platforms. So they're basically everywhere, but they always have their favorite. And you need to find out what their favorite is. Maybe come as a surprise, but 55 and 64-year-olds have 5 different platforms where they're on. So everyone is on every platform, but not as much as you want. Sometimes you need them to be. So that's why you need to be on the platform that they stick around. And just to smack some more numbers in there, people are online. 23% say they want to have companies and brands they purchase from. But there also 20% says, well, I'm online because I want to find companies and brands to consider purchasing from. And that you want to be online as well because they don't know you yet. And that's what I said in the beginning as well, that you need to be the authority figure because they're looking for something to purchase. And if they now see that you are out there with cool stuff and cool content, 20% will then come over to you and will be a buyer. And yeah, that's one thing to go. And another number, for example, seeing content from your favorite brand is also 23%. So if you're not out there, and let's say I always buy the same product, but I don't see you online ever again, maybe I will skip around to the competitor that's online all the time and having awesome live streams or TikTok challenges or whatever. And one thing we didn't discuss, but that's also a cool thing, is Spark ads. You can do that on TikTok. And what it will do basically is you can leverage your own channel, but you can also say, I want to have my ad on your influencer channel. So the influencer will basically show my ad, but it will be in their name. And there are so many different things you need to be out there doing that, to come back to your question, research, that's always the number one thing. And find out what's interesting, trending, what's relevant. Also create your goals. Don't say, okay, I will go online. What is your goal? Do you want to go to 1,000 followers, or do you want to have 10,000 engagements or 100,000? Because if you have as a goal 100,000 in 3 months, you need to put your budget in it. Sometimes I have clients that say, well, I want to spend $500 and that's enough. Yeah, if your goal is 100 followers, no problem. But if you really want to grow and yeah, make it big, then you need to put your money always where your mouth is. And
Mhm.
another thing to do it, and that's also important because most Amazon sellers I speak to, some of them are big, but there are also some smaller sellers. And if you want to sell your company and you have a Facebook page attached to it with, let's say, 50,000 followers, you have an email list with 10,000 people, your store is now so much more worth because you can communicate directly with your audience. So that's another big thing to be online and capture your leads and have lead magnets like ebooks and that kind of stuff, because yeah, it will definitely create more value.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so I know you not only provide services for people who want to get help with actually doing some of this stuff, but you have a lot of educational resources, too, where you actually train people on how to do it themselves. So if I want to, if I'm a seller, I want to reach out to you to find you on the interwebs to get some more information on how you can help. Where can we find you out there?
Well, my website is digitalblacksmiths.io. My name is Wilfried Lightheart. The beautiful thing about that, there are only so many Wilfried Lighthearts out there. So if you Google, you probably see me with my old gear on, with my digital blacksmith gear. So yeah, check me out. And we have something called a Power Up Masterclass where we teach people how to do it. So if you want to be part of that one, every 2 weeks I have a sit down and we dissect what they're doing and what's not working and that kind of stuff. So you can check out that as well. And it's powerupmasterclass.com. And other than that, I hope to be on a lot of stages again. If the COVID cloud is gone, then we can
Yes.
travel again and share the knowledge. That's what I love to do.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And when I'm in town, we'll go to the Ajax game together next time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will show you around as well.
Thank you for coming on here, and it'd be great to haven't seen you in person in a while, but the world is getting back to normal little by little, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. Maybe you can come to our Sell and Scale event in Vegas. There's always nobody needs an excuse to come to Vegas, but there's one for you there. And thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge, and we'll be definitely seeing you in the future.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, you have some big players, so Neil Patel and Jerry Vaynerchuk. Those are the industry leaders. So if I can make it, I will be there. So nice
Awesome.
talking to you as well. And take care in LA for me, and we will see each other soon.